So hey guys, welcome back to Selene, and this time I've got my kitty ears on because people kept saying I didn't have them. You know they itch, right? Okay. Maybe not the same manners as before, but the gears in his head were starting to move again. When he got home, Mr. Melez had already left. Turned out that he didn't even take the keys from the neighbors. At first, Ethan assumed Mr. Melez could cancel the visit, but as soon as he opened the door, his doubts disappeared. A strong, unfamiliar scent was filling the hallway. It could be Mr. Melez's cologne, of maybe the smell of the apartment itself, with Hope's presence fading away. Mr. Melez must have taken his daughter's keys. Somehow the possibility never crossed Ethan's mind before. He drew the air in through his nostrils and then suddenly felt as sharp and clear as in that dream he had days ago. Something was going to happen. Ethan looked around the empty dark room and reached for the phone. Was it to perform the ritual, or was he hoping something would go different this time? Sharp beeps. Ethan thought it was safe to say something was already happening, He only had to figure out what and where. Something had changed in the picture, and it's not that Hope's favorite blouse is missing from the closet. If you find the difference, you win. If you find the difference, you'll know where the gears are taking you. The hallway. Pot-bellied bowls on the dresser, full of gibberish and dust. The kitchen. An uneven row of glass jars on a shelf, an empty coffee maker bearing dry blackness at the bottom, spoons, forks, and knives, some of them really sharp. The bathroom, a mirror on the wall, and then the reflection, the closed door is open. No, not here. But where? Ethan licked his split lip. Yes, that's it. He has to check his email now. I do like those paintings. They're all the same painting. They're all the same painting cut up into pieces. I think I studied them, the original painting in an art class once. Ethan was looking carefully. Seemed like a lot of time had passed. His mailbox was full of various emails, but Ethan barely glanced at the names. He was looking for something special. And what was special about, say, letters from an agency that were gradually becoming more and more concerned? At some point, concern turned into cold and aggressive. Ethan idly skimmed through the notices of contract termination. Not what he was looking for. He started with the oldest email and scanned the list all the way to the top. Nothing. Maybe he's looking in the wrong place. Maybe there's just nothing to look for. No, something's happening. He only has to figure out what and where. Ethan got so close to the accurate answer to those questions that the light of new knowledge could have burned out his eyes. God, I don't know why I couldn't read that. I'm gonna lower it a little bit. So they're coming up with Italian. I can't wait to tell my artists. At the top of the list was an untitled letter. Maybe Ethan missed it the first time, or maybe it wasn't there before. The sender was the same writer Ethan had voluntarily helped completely free of charge. Ethan's lungs turned into a deflated pool ball. He clicked on the name of the letter without the name. Of course, the letter actually had a name. Male clients carefully added untitled to the empty lines, just in case you're losing it when you type your email, because something goes out of that open door in the bathroom mirror. The poor guy begged Ethan to come. The mail said he couldn't sleep. He was scared, exhausted, and didn't know who else to ask. Something will get him very soon if he won't figure anything out. He didn't know if it was related to the work he was doing. He didn't know how to drive away what had settled in his house. He only knew that something enormously hungry was looking at him from the darkness. You know what I mean, right? Ethan knew. By the time he finished reading the letter, Ethan had already known what he should do. Answer the call. Ghostbuster. The acquaintance didn't know if it all had any relation to the work he was doing. But what about Ethan's work? Could his research shed light on what lay dormant in the dark and awaken it? Was it Ethan's avid curiosity, or the question that teased its appetites? Which one was cursed, the chicken or the egg? Ethan was angry. Angry as hell. He wanted it to end, all of it, once and for all. He wanted to face his fear, even if the fear was no longer his own, even if it was crawling through the wires and climbing communication towers to breathe its noxious spores into the air. You guys need to do more horror. Ethan was angry, but also terrified. What he wanted to think was a delusion took root and grew stronger as he tried to deceive himself. It was as incorporeal as the email in his mailbox, yet at the same time as real. Ethan wanted to face the fear so that it would take shape and a name, a box in which that fear could fit. Maybe he could have dealt with it. That's why, when Ethan got behind the wheel of his old sedan, he wasn't doing it for the writer who was tormented by shadows. He was doing it for himself. In the email, the acquaintance described in detail how to find his house and how to get inside. By the way, guys, if you are watching this may actually be Saturday. We're going to be doing My Immortal Live. Come watch us suffer. Too much detail, as if he had already resigned to his fate. Something would get him very soon, and he wouldn't figure anything out. This is just a notice, Mr. Harrison, a notice of life termination. This happens when you look into the abyss for far too long. I feel like the Elder Abomination should have taken this. Or that cute little quiet one that likes ghosts. You're not coming out. You stay in your corner. But looking isn't enough, is it? You shine a flashlight into it, throw stones, and whistle frantically like a vandal who managed to get into an abandoned house. You're excited and terrified, and then only terror remains as you realize the door is slammed shut behind you and the handle won't budge. This thought made Ethan speed up, and then, just abruptly, hit the brakes. The wheels let out a short, hysterical shriek. A car swerved and stopped on the side of the road. The blood was pounding in his ears. Ethan's breath came in short gasps, his eyes searching blindly in the dark. After calming down a little, Ethan pretended. Who was he trying to fool? The night road was empty. He was examining his navigator. But there was but one thought in his head. What is he doing? What the hell is he doing? Seems like he asked it out loud. And there was no answer. It's not too late to turn back. Turn the car around, go back to the city, to the apartment, lie down on the sofa and sleep, 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 until the morning comes. In the morning, he'll call Hope again and... The thought was cut short. Actually, it didn't lead anywhere from the very beginning. A dead end. The truth was, he had no place or reason to go back. He wanted to go back to the past. And that task was beyond him or his old Toyota. Can you guys say Toyota? In the present, he had nothing left but the granite gray road ahead and decided to go. If he hurried, he might still be able to help. The car slowly took off. The rest of the way, and there wasn't much left, Ethan was thinking about his acquaintance. Or were they friends? Probably. You don't take acquaintances for a journey to the bottom of the abyss, do you? Ethan was thinking about his friend, how long he'd been awake in particular. It had been, Ethan glanced at the phone for the open glove box, quite a long time. A month or so, judging by emails. How long can a person stay awake? Wrong button. The question followed his car silently. Ethan drove into the suburbs and turned the car around on Deputy Road. The 25-mile-per-hour speed limit road sign at the bend of the road seemed as white as an old bone. Ethan turned down Sycamore Street. The lawn in front of the house 8 was overgrown with tall grass. So tall as if it hadn't been touched for... How long can a person stay awake? Ethan thought it was probably the rainy weather. He didn't remember much of the past week, but he was pretty sure about the rain. Even now, the ground was still damp and springy underfoot. Yes, it must be the rain. Humidity makes grass grow faster. When he got out of the car, a shadow detached from the trees near the house. Ethan stiffened, then eased a moment later. A figure quickly walked away along the narrow concrete path. Just a passerby. Ethan watched him go. The concrete beneath his boots gave way to gravel. Ethan walked past the sprawling hemlock covered with rosettes of small white flowers. The bush reached up to mid-thigh. All the windows were dim, no lights anywhere. The house stood a little way off, dark, quiet, and still as the night itself. Almost like the house was slumbering along with its host. For the moment, Ethan felt stupid, and was about to turn back to the car, but he stayed after all. He was invited. No, not that. He was called for help. Maybe he and his friend got a little too stressed, and that's all. Induced delusional disorder in all its glory. Maybe Ethan was desperate to be needed, so he jumped at the chance to be someone's savior. Perhaps his unfortunate friend had finally fallen asleep, and disturbing him was a bad decision after all. Well, Ethan was fine with that. He just wanted to make sure everything was okay. Ethan firmly knocked on the door. No one answered, neither the first nor the third. No lights came on in any of the rooms, and there was no sound behind the door. One of the windows on the second floor was open. Ethan moved away from the porch and tried to get a better look. No movement. The house was asleep, and its sleep resembled torpor. Ethan himself came to think he might be dreaming. But if two people share the same dream, is it any different from reality? Slowly, as if that really was a dream, Ethan went to the flower tub. the letter had mentioned and took the spare key from its hiding place. Just as slowly he returned to the door. The key rattled 3 times in the lock, and the door drifted inwards into the darkness. At the top of the stairs leading to the 2nd floor, there sat a cat. Ethan tried to call out to it, but the cat didn't move, still watching him with bright round eyes. Ethan plunged into the darkness of the house. The darkness and the stench, which were almost one and the same here. The smell, unbearably thick, dense, wrapped the house in a suffocating shroud. Ethan tried not to think about where it was coming from. Instead, he's going to take a drink. Instead, he thought of Selene, or rather her dark counterpart, Hecate. The ancient Greeks believed that she appears in the form of a dog, but dogs were sacrificed to her, weren't they? Better turn on the lights. It was really better to, but Ethan couldn't gather enough courage to do it. Dogs are the natural enemy of cats. Light is the natural enemy of darkness. Life is the natural enemy of death. And what wish would be more natural than a wish to destroy your natural enemy? Ethan stumbled over something. He looked down. A hand was peeking out from behind the kitchen counter, blackened and swollen. Of course, Ethan would have seen more if he had flashlights. Somehow, Ethan wasn't surprised. As if it's him, not his friend, who had long ago resigned to his fate. "You've received a notice of life termination." It suddenly dawned on him. Madness, curse, and death are contagious. And this is not a dark age superstition, but an actual law of reality. Selene, Hecate, Artemis, madness, curse, and death. Here lies an accurate answer, as accurate as it gets. The answer has 3 faces, and he himself wished to look into each of them. Ding. A sound of glass breaking in the hall, but it wasn't a window collapsing. The light bulbs? Someone was smashing the light bulbs with a bat, one by one. The sound was getting closer. Ethan closed his eyes. Good night. What was the question again? Ending 6 out of 6. Ghostwriter. So that was one of the endings of Selene. I will indeed be working on all of the endings. Don't you worry. But before we end it, let's see what we unlocked. Happy Dreamland! I'll give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you lose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Bah. Bah. The Hans and Sam Show. What do you do when you feel lonely? I don't feel lonely. Oh gosh, what do you do when you feel lonely? I don't feel lonely. What do you do when you feel lonely? Something bad happens if you ask me again. What do you do? Told you. Ah, the Hans and Sam Show. Ernie deserved it. Bert snapped. Blue Lights Hotel. We welcome you your stay for a moderate price. Alright guys, so next time, we'll see what the other choices are. So thank you all once again for joining me for more Selene. So if you like this game, it is free on Steam, so please pick it up. And look out for the new voice patch that I'll be doing very soon. Bye, guys, and don't forget to support the devs and me. Bye-bye.
Good night.